So hi guys, welcome back. So in the last video, we have understood about the themes and colors related thing. In today's video, we'll learn about hydrated block. See, if you have ever used a block pattern, I'll explain you the things here. Let me just take a reference. Let me try to create one whiteboard for you. Wait. So you can see the screen. Uh, yeah, so you can screen here now. See, sorry, yeah, yeah. So you can see here is this is the one class which is called our UI class. Okay, this is our UI class which the user is seeing here. Okay, let me just draw small screens so you can see this is the one screen. This is called UI class. Okay, one is our controller class. Okay, one is our event class. Uh, I'll define here. And one is our state class. So what exactly happens is here when UI wants to run something, okay, in block pattern, what exactly will happen is here UI class. Suppose if I'll just trigger any function, okay, I want to something have. If I click on a button, the state updates. So if I'll just go to click a button, it will trigger one event here, okay, and pass some values. Okay, if the event class have some parameters, now this will go trigger this one, will trigger. It is connected to this here, this controller class. Here we have defined one function, okay, with having some event which is defined here. So when UI class triggers some event here, so it will directly go to the controller class. It will find that function, okay, it will implement that things, and now it will trigger one state update. Okay, when the state changes, it will directly go to our UI class, and UI class will build that widget. Okay, rebuild that widget, which is like if I have three variables, okay, and I have updated one variable, so the widgets which are using that state variable, that widgets will be rebuilt. Okay, remaining are constant, remaining will not rebuild, only that widget will be rebuilt, that state variables that variable is using. Okay, if I have a text widget which has some state variable, and through this event I have updated that variable, so that text widget will be rebuilt. Okay, not the whole class, not the every widget, only that widget will be rebuilt. So this is how block works. But if I'll go to our uh, that qubit one, if I have a qubit here, okay, qubit here, what we have same the UI class. Okay, we have the same UI class, we have that controller class, and we have a state class. Okay, what exactly happens is there same thing, there is no event class here. It will directly trigger to our controller functions. Okay, controller function will perform that logic, whatever the business logic written there, and this will and when we trigger emit will update our state, and when the state updates, it will go back to our UI class, and the UI and the widget which are using that state variable, the widget will be rebuilt. Okay, this thing happens in our qubit. But in block we have events, and we trigger the events which, okay, we trigger some event, and that event is dependent on our controller function, and controller function will just run that business logic and update our states, and then will the UI in the UI class, the widgets which are using that state variable, the widget will be rebuilt. Okay, but in qubit we don't have any event class in between. It will just directly trigger our controller functions, update the state, and widgets are rebuilt. Only this is the basic difference with our block and qubit pattern. Okay, and we don't need any other library for to run the qubit. We can use the directly block libraries. Okay, in that we have directly the we can have a qubit class. Okay, So I'll import this hydrated block. So what exactly the hydrated block works for us? Why we are using hydrated block instead of having the direct flutter block class? So I'll help you with that. So you can see here the hydrated block is actually is an extension to the block package. Okay, but it has a different things here. What exactly, like in block we have a, like we used to define our block class for a one screen here. Suppose if I develop one home screen, so I have a block variable, block controller class, we have state class, we have end class. Okay, I'll update any state, and when the we move to the new screen, or we just closes the app, or the scope of that block is finished, then the when now whenever the block reopens or reinitializes, all the value will be reinitialized. That state variables will be go to the, our initial state. Okay, the first state we have defined that variable, either it's a nullable or initial values, default values. Okay, but hydrated block what will do, it will maintain its state, whether the app closes or in background state, terminate state, or any state. It will use the Hive package to store that data. Okay, to store that state data in our to maintain the state. Okay, it will store the data of our current state to Hive package. Okay, Hive state, sorry, Hive library. Okay, Hive, if you don't know, like we in the recent video, in the recent project, we have used SQL, but now we are implementing the Hive. Hive is basically no SQL, is based on no SQL structure. Okay, no SQL structure. Now it will, what it will do, it will have a like every like what the Hive exactly do is there. Um, it will create a table. Okay, it will create a something like I'll help you with an design. Wait, you can see the screen here. uh, what exactly is Hive is here is that we have one table here. Okay, it has a lot of data. Okay, with the predefined some Hive fields. Okay, we have a list of models. For example, list of sample model. Okay, it is something like that. Now here, if I'll just write sample model. Okay, every has a sample model. It is something like that. And the best part of this Hive package is that you don't need to like if you like in the previous project we have defined our category class, category models, transaction models, then we have queries to create that table, right? And when we want to store any data, we used to pass it in a JSON format, and then we can convert that data from JSON and just directly display. Here we don't need to do anything, we just define our simple model class. Okay, it every variable have a Hive field. Okay, naming as index 0 1 2 3 4 and so on, and there it will just automatically parse the data in JSON, from JSON to JSON. It will automatically parse. We just need to define the function. We don't need to write any other we don't need to write any query to create tables. We don't need to write any what should I say, SQL queries. It provide us directly functions, and we just need to call them. Okay, we just need to call them. And now we are using the hydrated block, so we don't need to do this much also. We just, what we will do, we will just use our hydrated block pattern. It will automatically do in the background. You can see here we this is new for me also, like hydrated block I never used, so I'm also new with that. So we'll understand by seeking the example. Like we have set up some hydrated storage, then we have a hydrated block. Okay, hydrated qubit, and then it extends, and we have a from JSON to JSON. Okay, and then we have a hydrated block here. Okay, it is creating the qubit actually, but it is actually creating the block. That's why it has a event class. But we will have a qubit, so we don't need this event class. Okay, we'll not using that um, that block pattern. We'll follow the qubit pattern. Okay, because we don't need any necessary event thing related things. Okay. So you can see the code. It is similar. There is only difference that we don't have any event class. We will not have a two parameters. We have a single parameter. Okay. This is the basic difference here. Okay. We will also remember this that we have the we will remain using our priest package. Okay. We will not move to any other thing. So let me see the example. Mixin is something like different. I don't think mixin we need. Okay. Okay. Great. We have a custom package also. Example, let me see. Okay, he has put the same example. We will go to its GitHub. Not this one. Reference, not this one. Repository, yeah, this one. So if I'll just go to our example lab, we have this one. Okay. So here we have ensure initialize. We have defined our storage. We have a qubit. Okay. He have written the qubit and block as well. Okay, this is our qubit. Okay, so here we have as class, state class, we have toggle, we have JSON. Okay, so we will take the reference of this. So I'll define here a global. Okay, so let me just remove these. I'll remove in the next when we are developing our home screen. Okay, so let me just start with our main function here. Okay, so let me just import this flutter hybrid block. Okay, cd and layer. Okay, let me just hydrated block. Yeah. So let me check if we won't have to implement any other thing. Okay, we don't need copy and paste. Okay, so it is done. Also, we will using priest flutter. So let me just check. We have to install all the things. So if you haven't one second, if you haven't watched my previous project videos, you can see here also I'm adding the same things here. Open. Okay, so now we will have what I'll do here is uh, we have utils here, so I'll define here a common block here, folder as common block. Okay, here I'll define new file as um, what we can do. Hmm, let me think. Uh, yeah. So we have common. block dot add new file comments state dot dot. Okay, so here I'll write part common block dot freeze dot dot state part of common block dot dot. Okay, I'll define my freeze class here. Let me just check with my plugins. Not sure which I have used. Uh, F data class, yeah. F data, yeah. So our common state. Okay, so moment document and we will have, let me just remove and just paste it here. Okay, so suppose if I have something like we have, suppose that we have enum. Okay, enum have theme which is called light and dark. Okay, moment document default we have app theme dot light app theme format document. Okay, and let me define common block stands qubit. Not this one, hydrated qubit, I guess, or let me just check. Yeah, this we are using hydrated qubit. Yeah, let's import. And we have common state, common block, super. I haven't defined any. Okay, factory common state dot initial state. Common document. We are left with our override functions. Okay, from JSON and to JSON. Okay, so we will have the return common state dot from JSON. Okay, copy and return state dot to, not this one, we have two JSON method. Okay, from my document and then and let me run our builder command. Okay, so things are very sorted here. Mixing concrete. Okay. Not this one. Do they have changed anything? Let me check once. I guess they haven't changed anything. Part is everything is fine, I guess. Okay, I just forgot to have extra class. So, okay, we have maintained. Now let me try to use it. Void uh, update app theme. Okay, so if I'll just write here app theme state dot copy with uh okay, commit state dot copy with from a document. Let me use it in our, let me define it here. My app, and we have wrap up it with it. Block provider. Uh, huh, where is our block provider? We have a block provider, why it is not showing? Provider. Now it will show, I guess. Oh, it is not showing. Let me import it from here. Okay. Okay. So I think okay. It needs the flutter block also. It needs the flutter block to be also added here. Okay. I think it's take from that, but I think they need this one. I think no other thing it needs. Yeah, only this thing. Okay. And also we need that path provider also because we need to provide the storage as well, right? So let me add that also here. Text import, and let me also run that pod install. Otherwise, it will not run. But firstly, let me just fix these issues. Okay, common block. Okay, then if we are using, then I guess we need a something like builder. But uh, uh, let me just go to our common script. Change it to this. Okay, paste, paste. Uh, Let me run. I'm not sure if there will be an issue. Let me run it. So we have now, okay. And now we can have here a wrap up with our consumer, which will have a block consumer here. Not consumer, sorry. We have a block builder. Okay. State dot. Uh, it should show, if I'm not wrong, format document. Yeah. So we can remove these things also. We can put here format document. Quick fix import. Okay. Uh, okay. Let me check once because I have also forgot. I have run it very long time, so that's why. Because okay, now it should show our app theme. Okay, I haven't defined anything here. Common block, common state, common document. Cut is equal to app theme dot apply theme switch quick fix add missing switch cases app theme uh, not this one theme data actually, yeah, theme is equal to app theme dot apply theme break copy and paste, and we have dark theme, and we can have a app theme. Now my document, let me try to run it. I want to check if we are changing the state, does it maintaining or not? Okay. So let me just go to my home page and let me add one block builder here. Common block, common state, state. Okay. And we have an elevated button which has child, text. Then we have on press, context dot read, common block dot I haven't defined. Okay, update app theme. This is one. App theme dot format document. We can also have like rather than this one, we can also have switch uh, state dot app theme is equal to e app theme dot light if e app theme dot dark else e app theme dot light. Okay, and we don't need to define anything here. Okay, let me hot restart it. uh okay, we forgot to define our main storage part. Let me define the storage readme, and we have, let me just take the code from here, and then we have here from a document. Okay, let me go to my example and okay, copy, paste, copy, paste. We have an asynchronous thing. It will not be have a web, right? From a document. Yeah, let me just go to our, let me just finish it and then run. Now it will be able to run. I think there is no permission issues. I'm not sure, but yeah, we will check. Yeah. So if I'll define, do I have defined theme changing here? Block. Okay. Home page, not this one. Sorry, common block. Yeah, my app. Sorry. Okay. Hello, Naman. Okay. And if I'll just hot restart it. Okay. Is maintaining the state. Let me just try to remove the app from background and try to run. Yeah, we are good with it. Perfect. Okay, then now in the next video we will defining our home screen. Okay. Till then, bye bye. We'll meet in the next video.